So hey guys, welcome to the Backrooms podcast. I think is what it's going to be called. Here today, it's Jairo and me, of course. No Alex like last time, and we're just going to roll into it. I went camping weeks and weeks back. This has been a story in the making because I don't know, it was just such a fucking crazy trip. I think I was telling Jairo a little bit about it. It was crazy. I wish Jairo was there. I think he would have had a very fun time.
I would have. I would have probably enjoyed it. I mean, was there a shit ton of mosquitoes over there or no?
There were bugs, but like all of us had like bug spray, so I barely got bit. Unlike like times before where my ankles just get fucking riddled with holes of just like mosquito bites and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, speaking about bugs, there was literally like a wasp thing in like a bug net that we had, or like a bug tent. And it was on like the fucking, it was on the fucking screen. And so what I took was like the Deep Woods bug spray, and I just sprayed it on the one side, dude. It was all covered. It couldn't fly away. Like, I love bees. I love bees. Any type of bee. Carpenter bees, honey bees, whatever.
Wait, so you killed a bee?
No, it was a wasp. What I was going to say is I hate wasps.
Oh,
Wasps, okay. Like, I literally could die and I wouldn't even, like, all of them could die and I wouldn't, like, blink. You know? I know we have a fragile ecosystem and they probably help other bugs and this, that, blah, blah, blah. Right? But, like, fuck wasps. Man, I mean that's just a sliver of what happened during camping. Just like we dumped a whole like almost like a quarter of a spray bottle onto a wasp, and then it couldn't fly away on the screen, and I just like crunched it with my fingers, and it was like a pop, which was cool. I'm surprised we didn't have any like wasp spray or anything. Well, let's start from the beginning. We were supposed to go to a campsite called Cranford West, and it's actually somewhere near Sparta. It's basically I mean, I can't really explain what it is. It's a sliver of land with a beautiful lake, and it's like I said up near Sparta, but it's a campsite that the township of Cranford owns. I know a few people who live there, and so we were setting up a trip to go there.
Yeah.
And we set it up like months in advance. I even paid months in advance. I believe I paid like $50. Nah, was it $50? Nah, I think it was like $30 or so. Just for like the 3 nights that we're going. We were going a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. We were gonna come back Sunday morning, right? And so we were just planning this like whole thing. It was the first time that our friend Dylan's father wasn't going to be camp director, which basically means like the person who's going to stay there, make sure everything is fine and dandy and safe, right? Everyone is taking out the boats and then bringing them back in. Everyone's taking out the canoes and bringing them back in, right? Because it also has a shed with a bunch of like not tools, but also like not camping gear, but just like items that you could take out on the lake. You go to Cranford West to be honest, go out on the boat on the lake and stuff like that. There's like a little dock like close to the shore. But years past there was also like a party dock or a party boat or whatever that was out in the middle, which is a completely different story that I'd love to get into. Basically we got kicked off of that one because we didn't even know that we weren't supposed to be on that. But besides the point, so we're all setting up this and that, blah blah blah. It's a different director, and we're like, oh, that's fine, this and that. And then like like weeks are going by, the months are going by, and I'm just like hyped. I bought a fucking camping chair for me. I bought a sleeping pad that like blows itself, like it blows up. I just have to like step on it and it blows up. I brought a camping pillow. I was all set. I bought a fucking duffel bag as well. I was like, I'm gonna put this in the duffel bag, and all this is gonna fit. And it was simple for me. Like me camping, it was just like, this is what it's going to be. It's gonna be pretty simple. It's gonna be pretty easy. I'm not gonna try and go all out. Because usually in the past I would literally bring like a huge fucking black garbage bag with like a comforter and a pillow, and like that was really it. And like a change of clothes. And that was really it. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring soap, I'm gonna bring this, I'm gonna bring that, So the week before we were supposed to go camping, the camp director then like I guess puts her foot down with like all of these rules. And like specifically one of them, and this was the main reason why we were going, was no drinking, which was pretty beat. But at the same time, a lot of people were like, well, we'll drink, but we'll just be, we won't be suspicious about it, and we won't be belligerently drunk and whatnot. Even though definitely some people were going to be belligerently drunk. And it was like a party of like 13 people. It was like a lot of people. We were probably taking like 3 or 4 cars because of that. And we were like, it's no biggie, this and that, blah blah blah. We don't have to really worry about anything. And then the saddest part happened, where we were told that we couldn't go into the water at Cranford West because there were like flesh-eating bacteria in the fucking water. Which, and as much as I like, oh man, as much as I would love to give the benefit of the doubt, but it just sucks because this happens sometimes. It happens a lot at Cranford West. It just does. And so we didn't want to like replan or reschedule like a going date because it was early in the summer, so it wasn't like too hot. The days weren't going to be like 75 degrees, like even during the nighttime, and it was going to be humid and whatnot. And so it was just hype, but we were like, we're still sticking with this. We're going to go to Cranford West. We're going to just deal with all of this stuff. She literally was like, oh, there's churches and this and that you guys can go to. And we're like, we wanted to stay at Cranford West because we wanted to go on the boats and drink. The 21-year-olds that we are. I was just like, okay. Everyone's saying like, oh, it's beat, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Now, funny enough, it didn't say anything about smoking weed. So we have some potheads in the group. They were like, yeah, we'll smoke weed. It doesn't matter. We don't drink. And everyone else who's like who are the alcoholics are like, fuck, man, we can't drink though. That sucks. And then it comes to the day we're supposed to go to Cranford West. And I'm just like, I'm texting everyone. I'm like, I'm hyped. I can't wait. I'm getting ready. I'm getting dressed. I'm like, I'm putting all my clothes in my fucking duffel. Actually, I did that the night before. I was like, all ready for this shit. It was just like, right? I jump in the shower. It's about like 20-minute shower. I hop out. And then all of a sudden, I see these text messages just fly by on my phone. Sometimes I bring my phone in the shower just in case anything was going on. And something did happen. It was horrible. It was terrible.
Wait, what? You saw somebody shit in the fucking sink?
No.
Oh.
That's my friend Matt, who sent a picture of his shit in Taco Bell and flushing it down the toilet.
I had a friend that was obsessed with that, and I was like, do you have a fetish? Like, what are you sending me? Like,
sometimes poop is just like that, man. It's just like, it's satisfying, and you just have to show the world.
Why does everybody need to know that you took a shit?
It's not the shit. It was the shit taking.
Yeah, but the person feels that. I don't want to feel that. Like, I'll see. Fucking,
I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just to fuck with people. But besides the point,
what happened?
it wasn't that picture. I swear, it wasn't that video. I saw that video a while ago. But everyone was saying it's beat. It's beat. Can't go. Camping is ruined this year. Last minute, the day we were supposed to go, the camp director closed Cranford West. She said because no one can go out on the lake, we're closing Cranford West. Because she wanted to go out on the lake, she wanted to swim, she wanted to boat, whatever. And everyone is just like, oh my god, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone is just like fucking done and just over with it. Now, this was a Friday, I got paid this day. So I had about like $300 something to like basically dish out on today, right? And I was like, okay, is there anywhere else that we can go? That's like a last minute thing. Because like me, my friend Mike, my friend Matt, Dylan, and Luke, and like 2 other people, I can't think right now, are all like, we want to fucking go. We want to go. We want to go camping. Like, we've been waiting all year for this shit. They actually didn't go camping last year, 2021. I was the only one who did with a different group of people. So, I mean, to me, it was like, oh, if we miss camping this year, I mean, I have 3 days off. So that's cool because I had to ask for 3 days off. But I mean, that's besides the point. Like, people wanted to go camping, and I still did too. So, basically boiled down to there were like 2 subsects in this group chat, and it was one who were willing to pay to go to somewhere else that could take us for that day, and subsect B who were like, we don't want to pay for shit, we want to go for free.
What the fuck? What type of friends are like that? What the fuck?
The potheads.
Oh my! You said pets?
The potheads who have already spent money to bring weed. Don't have enough money to then whatever. I mean, that's up to them and whatever, and I'm not going to judge them for it, but like, I will say, majority of people that wanted to go to this next place, that was literally just $50 to go for 2 nights, were like, it was majority who were able to do that. So, I mean,
no, I mean, if they're paying money for drugs, right? Like, I think that's equivalent. That's the thing, because like, if you're bringing drugs, you're bringing alcohol and stuff like that. I mean, might as well.
I mean, barely were people bringing alcohol. It was literally like we were going to go there, set up camp, and then leave to buy alcohol.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're bringing weed,
Yeah, but the weed, I will say this: the weed's not for everyone.
Oh, okay. Then fuck those guys.
That's the thing, right? Like, it's just for these people who want to smoke. And if you ask, like, yeah, they'll share. Like, look, I haven't smoked weed in a minute, only because like I was on a huge edible binge, like where it was like every Friday I would have like basically 150 milligrams of like these chocolate edibles, right? Like, I would have 2 of them. They were both 75 or 125. And it was like in week 3 on a Friday, when I was like, this doesn't hit me, I was kind of like, shit. I kind of want to like lower my tolerance again, so that when I do have edibles again, it's like, crazy, right? So I haven't smoked or I haven't eaten edibles in a long time. I've like, even with drinking, like, I don't drink unless it's in like a social setting, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been trying, like, if my girlfriend Tang wants to show me like indie music, sometimes I'll be just like having 2 edibles that are like 100, like was it milligrams?
Wait,
and
both?
Yeah,
How used to edibles are you?
I'm pretty good with it. Like, I have a positive reaction with weed.
Okay.
In general. Anything
I hope
associated.
so, my friend.
No. I don't have like like, I'm not like, oh fuck you guys. Like, I'm very calm.
Well, that's like barely any people who are aggressive on
No,
weed.
but
But
I've met paranoid people on weed though, and it's like fucking
there
ridiculous
are
because
paranoid people. I agree with you.
they
Yes.
they snap they snap instantaneously into violence, and then you awkwardly have to deal with it while being like the calmest
Being
person.
high. Yeah.
I don't like I remember having this thing in like high school. We were smoking in the car. There was like I think there was 4 or 5 people in the car, and this one dude, Mark, he was very paranoid, and he thought like for some reason I was a fucking cop, even though like I was really high and just staring at the window. I was like, oh, this is cool. And
You were
he just
watching the
jumps out
lights
of
fly by.
yeah, and he jumps out of the front seat into my seat to try to strangle me.
Wow.
Yeah, it
That's
was pretty bad.
crazy.
Like sometimes on weed, like I do be seeing some fucked up shit, but like I'd be like okay with it. Like I don't know. Oh my god. Like
You know,
I did
I
I,
do be seeing Cthulhu once or twice, but like it's all fine.
no, I don't hallucinate. Sometimes I do get paranoid, but like I don't get paranoid on people. I just get paranoid myself. Like that's weird.
Mm.
If you have too much, like because you can
Dude,
get paranoid.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm always paranoid, so when I smoke weed, it's just always like, oh, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
like I don't be paranoid and I'm like, come here, bitch.
yeah. No,
Like,
I'm picking up where you've been. I think those
yeah,
people are just like, they're not used to the high.
yeah.
And so, like, it's not only being paranoid about, like, the life around them or the area around them, but they're paranoid about themselves. And it's just like this added up anxiety. But whatever the case, right? So, I mean, that was their prerogative. And when I say like it was a small sect, I mean all these people could fit their things and themselves in a car by themselves. Like that was like the small group of people. But at the end of it, right after, like it was basically like a lot of people like, oh, it's beat this and that, blah blah blah, and it basically boiled down to I said like, look, we are going to go to, or my friend Dylan, sorry, was like he kind of put the hammer down, he put his foot down, and he was like, we're going to this place called Harmony Ridge. Fucking like this, if you want to go, and if you don't want to go, figure your own shit out, right? And it was basically like, yeah, like the vast majority of us liked the post, and it hit like I think we said like it hit like 12 something, like 12, 15, whatever, and that was it. And then he booked it for that amount of people because that was the one site that they had, the one site that was open, the last site that was open, unless we had to basically figure some shit out. Because for us, right, it was we wanted to have this extra day of setup so that when Sunday came, it didn't feel like we just had about 12 hours of an experience. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't want to feel like so tired after setting up camp and just being like, oh, we just want to be at camp, you know, and then just drinking whatever, and then we don't really do anything. We wanted, like, oh, we're tired, but we're going to sleep. We have a whole day next day, and we even have, like, a good quarter of, like, a day tomorrow to, like, do stuff. So it actually feels like you've been there for a day, right? I always say this when it's like when going out or camping or like if you're going on a trip, add like one extra day. Just add one extra day, whether it's like in the beginning or at the end, right? Because if you have to set up stuff, if you have to unpack and whatever, especially if it's like an international flight where you're going from like point A to point B and time zones are different, like get that one extra day so
Yeah.
that it doesn't feel like you've only been there for like you wanted to be there for a week, but you were only there for like 5 days. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you get the fullness of something, you know, when you have that, or at least like go early, like try and get there like early as fuck if you can, if like an Airbnb is open or whatever, so that like you have time to, you know, if it's that early, like go back to sleep and like wake up and you have like this extended, like you have this whole day to do whatever and you're well rested and whatever. That's how I feel. Like because I felt like that where it's like, oh, we're only here for 4 days, but it feels like we've only been here. Besides
Yeah.
the point. So we wrangle everyone that wants to go up, We actually take my car. I actually take me and my friend Garrett. And I take all of our stuff, and as well as a few extra things. And we go up to this place called Harmony Ridge, and we've been there before. We actually been there like 2020 COVID summer, when like just before like COVID started to like come back up again, like slowly rising. And we were hyped, like when we set down, we set up camp. It was fucking awesome. We sat down, we were drinking, we had burgers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just a grand old fucking time, right? We had the food, we had the beers, we had music. Quiet time was at like 11, which at the same time, like, some people just fucking didn't give a shit and like were blasting music past 11. Um, and I think I drank like probably a little bit too fast, a little bit too much, and I started to get tired pretty early on. Actually, no, sorry about that. That was actually the next. I got tired a little bit later on in the night. Now, here's the thing: we had three coolers, if I'm not mistaken. One of them was the only one that was locked. So like, unless like you had opposable thumbs and fingers and whatnot, you weren't getting into this fucking thing. You weren't getting into this fucking cooler. However, the other two were not. Now, here's the thing. One of them, and I think it was because it had a big jug of milk, um, wasn't able to close all the way. And so what we basically did was, it was like, okay, then let's just put something else on top of it that's heavy so that it closes it. We had like a big box full of like Schweppes or like ginger ale. And we yeah, so we put it on top and we were like, okay, everything is fine. And I think I remember someone moving that to get into that cooler, and they didn't put it back on top. And we were all drunk, and we didn't notice. We were all just like having a good time. So, with the fire out and us being tired, we all went to bed. And I think I went to bed at around, I don't fuck, it was probably 12. And I'm sleeping there, and it got pretty cold. It was like probably low 60s, or sorry, not low 60s. Or no, it was probably going into mid 50s, mid to high 50s. So it got pretty cold at around 3 o'clock in the morning. I started to hear noise
Yeah.
out outside,
Hmm.
and my mind was just racing. Like, I wasn't drunk at the time, to be honest. I had eaten a lot of stuff, and I wasn't like, oh my god. And like where we were, like, bears would come into the campsite. Like, that was the thing. And I just remember being like cold, slowly putting pants on, and just hearing like what I thought I heard was like movement. Like something was being dragged. And I was like, fucking god. They're like a bear trying to open like one of the fucking coolers that we had. And like my mind was just like raging. And the thing
Yeah.
is, like, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I mean, at the time, in hindsight is 2020. But at the time, I was like, I don't know if it's like a brown bear or if it's a black bear. Like, it's pitch dark. There's no light. I'm not fucking risking this shit, because like black bears are pretty docile and pussies. Like, you could just yell at them and then they run away. Brown bears are the ones that, like, you do not fuck with.
Hmm.
You do not. They're the ones that you try and lay on the ground and play dead
Yeah.
while it's attacking you. While it's attacking you.
It just fucking mauls you. You just
Yeah,
die.
yeah, you could get mauled if you don't have like bear repellent.
Yeah.
Like that, like game over, man. You know, I mean, at least at that time, I could have ran to my car and I could have like beeped the horn or whatever.
Is
And
it
yeah,
No, I was gonna say like you can't use regular mace on a bear, right? It's just you have to
That's why
use
I said
air
like
repellent.
bear repellent. Like bear repellent is basically like pepper spray for bears, but it's made for bears. It's made to like fuck up their eyes and their nose, like
Is it because
move
they're
them away.
durable, or is it like a different thing where
It's
like
more of probably like pain receptors and whatnot. I mean, I believe there isn't like a huge difference, but it's probably like a better grade. You know, like there
uh,
is military grade, or not military, sorry. There is like prison grade like pepper spray that not only like is in your eyes and whatnot, but like sticks to you. It's almost like a gum to you, you know. And so like even if you wipe it off, like it's still on you, it's still on your hands and whatnot. It like it it incapacitates you.
bapara bapara?
Yeah, hibida hoo. Sorry,
No,
but like
not
you're
yeah.
just done at that point, and you're just finished, right? With
Mm,
that pepper spray, we didn't have anything like that at camp, and like
mm.
I said, we were pretty drunk, and like it was me being a little paranoid. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, I was just like not fucking with anything. I was cold actually. I like went to bed with shorts on because I was like, "Oh, this blanket is going to be fine." Actually, now I remember, I gave my blanket to my friend Garrett because he didn't bring one. So like I'm just like in shorts, I'm cold. I'm slowly putting pants on. And just like sweatpants because I brought that at least. I was like, it's probably gonna be cold, so I'm gonna bring these just in case. And I was up until 5, and I think my friend Mike, which we're sharing the tent. We have like three. Actually, we had like 4 people sharing this. He wakes up and like I was up and I like turned to him and he was about to go outside. And I was like, Mike, just be careful. Like I've been up for like 2 hours. I think there's a bear outside. And he looked at me and his face was like, no. But at the same time, he like slowly opened. He was like, one's out here. And I got outside and like beforehand, I was like in my mind, I thought these coolers were just ripped the fuck apart. Like fucking claws just trying to open and whatnot. And just like everything was demolished. But no. It was just a cooler that was open. And our hot dogs from the night before were on the ground. And cheese on the ground. Butter. If it was a bear, they would have like torn through everything. Everything in this. But like everything
Fucking
on
homunculus.
what?
It's a fucking homunculus.
But we
Like
were
one of
just
those
like,
things from
it was Bigfoot. We just didn't see the Bigfoot, like the footprint. But like, we were just like, what the fuck happened? And so like, I'm just searching. Like, hot dogs are open, but we opened them, but none were like outside the package. Um, and we were just like, fucking.
what?
We were just like kind of scratching our heads a little bit, and then I saw a little
Yeah.
footprint on top of Mike's cooler. And I was like, oh, fuck, Mike. Raccoons got our shit. And he looked at me. He was like, yo, if I see a fucking raccoon, I'm taking a baseball bat and just fucking drilling it in the face. And I was like, yeah, man. Me and him were both fucking pissed. Because, like, the shredded cheese that we brought, the cheese that we brought, the butter, the margarine, the fucking hot dogs that we brought, all fucking gone. All had bites in them. We had to get more butter. We had to get shredded cheese again. We had to get fucking hot dogs. It was just like, oh my fucking God. It was just, we were just flabbergasted because we were just like, they took all this shit. They took all this shit, right? We had, of course, breakfast stuff. We had eggs. But like it was so weird because they almost Mission Impossible this. Because the eggs, the milk, the fucking like everything that was on top of like the hot dogs and whatnot was like did not move. Nothing was moved. So we were just wondering how the fuck did they take anything? You know?
Yeah.
If not like just moving shit around. Like that we were just so flabbergasted. Everything in the cooler was still cool because it still had ice in it. But still we were just like, holy shit. And then everyone started to wake up.
Mhm.
And we told everyone raccoons got her shit. And Matt, who was the one who actually like got all of the food and whatnot before putting it in coolers and whatnot, he was like, "No fucking." We were like, "Not all the shit, but it's basically everything that we were going to need for that night because we were going to need like butter for just like if anyone wanted butter for the morning or this morning as well, trying to make toast, right? Um, we also needed shredded cheese for beans. We were making or for chili because we were going to make chili that night as well, which was some bomb ass fucking chili. I'm not gonna lie. And hot dogs just in case anyone wanted hot dogs for that night as well because we were gonna make chili dogs, right?
Yeah.
And so it was just like we like me and Matt and everyone were just like sitting down. We started a fire, right? We're being quiet. Like we it was like 5 o'clock, right? Um,
Mhm.
and we were just like, man, this is it, right? We gotta get some of this shit back. We gotta pay for something. Um, and so with that being said, my friend Dylan was like, okay, look, I'm gonna go. We're gonna go and because some of us need coffee. I was like, oh God, are you kidding me? Like, we gotta get coffee now. And he was like, no, 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 we're gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts. We're gonna drive to Dunkin' Donuts. We're gonna get a box of coffee. We're gonna get some cream, whatever this and that, blah blah blah. While we're out, we're also gonna get the stuff that we're going to need for tonight. Meanwhile, whoever is staying here can stay here, do whatever, right? Make breakfast, this and that, blah. So he basically said, "Who's with me?" And like literally 80% of the group went. I think the only people who didn't go was me, Matt, who both were basically making breakfast for everyone, and Garrett. And basically, breakfast consisted of just Taylor ham and eggs, and we had some bread. So if anyone wanted to make Taylor ham and egg sandwiches, we still had barbecue sauce. We still had ketchup. It was all that, all the 9 yards, right, of just condiments. And we were like, okay, we're pretty good. And then at a certain point, we finished making all the Taylor ham. We finished making some of the eggs, and we just put them in tin foil. And at a certain point, we just put them over the fire to like heat them up. Um, and at that point, it was just like, man, they've been gone for a while. It's like I don't know, like 7 o'clock right now. They left at like 6 something. Like 30 minutes is a pretty long time. And then and then my friend Matt is like, dude, what if? No, it was me. I was like, dude, what if like your car got broken down? And Matt was like, don't fucking say that shit. And I was like, no, it would just be so funny. It'd just be so funny if that happened. Right, Jairo? It would be so fucking funny. And then I
Yeah.
got a call.
Well, honestly, like I just let you spin your story because your story is like pretty interesting. So I didn't want to be like, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
add on stuff. Come on, don't mad
Whoa,
lib
whoa,
with
whoa,
me. It's fine.
whoa, whoa, okay, well, okay. How badly was it? Like, did you guys get fucked up or anything, or like anything happen as of
So
like just
I,
from
I
the mauling of
well,
your
from
food?
from the mauling of our food. I mean, nothing bad happened with that. I'm not gonna lie, but it was literally like Matt who bought all the food, who bought, not brought. He bought all the food, all the condiments, everything.
Yeah.
He was just like, now I have to. Now he has to pay for hot dogs, this and that, blah blah blah. Right? Like, that's what he has to pay for. Like he's down some money. And not only that, but he was also going to go out and pay for more alcohol that night, right? So it was just like for him, it was just a deficit on his money and whatever because he only brought like so much. And I was willing to like pay for like almost everything. Like I was just like set,
He
you
has
know.
negative $500 in his account.
Well, not like that, but yeah. And and Matt was just like, "Don't say that," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm just joking." And then I get a phone call. It's from Mike, and I was like, "Oh, it's them. Maybe they'll tell us, whatever." Mike's on the phone. He's telling me that they're on the side of the road because Dylan's car engine smoking. It's Dylan. forgot to do an oil change before he came camping. Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? How bad is it? Like an oil change? Like, does he truly need an oil change? Or is it like he can go back home and whatever? And Mike said, and I quote, when he took the dipstick out of the car, out of the engine, where the oil is, there was no oil on the dipstick.
Oh my god.
There was none.
Jesus.
And so that I then raised my eyebrows like The Rock, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he was like, "No."
Are you guys stranded? Like, where are you guys?
Well, no. So right now, this is the setup. Me, Matt, and Garrett are all at camp, right? Because me and Matt were making breakfast. Garrett kept on sleeping. Who's in the car with Dylan is Dylan himself, Mike, Dylan, Mike, Chris, and Adam.
Yeah.
Those four, sorry. And so they're not really stranded in the sense of like they can't come back to camp, but like it's not like they're in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're just like, we need someone to come and pick us up so that we can get oil, an oil pan, and as well as a fucking a funnel so that Dylan could do an oil change on his car. And so
you guys are basically kind of like, okay, so we have no food. Our
cars no. We do have food. We do have food. It's not a lot, to be honest. We do need more, but like we did make breakfast. Breakfast is done and ready. We were waiting on them to come back with coffee, with like a bunch of shit, right? We had some. We didn't have a lot for like we didn't have really anything for like a lunch or whatever. We did have food, but there were like certain items that we were worried about that got lost, like that were needed for like a meal. Like we wanted hot dogs to make chili dogs for that night, because that was our tradition. We've always had that tradition of Dylan's dad making chili for chili dogs and for other things. So like for the last night that we were staying camping, and we wanted to keep that tradition. So basically, I fell on the sword and I was like, okay, I'll pick you guys up.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe Matt brought his car. No, did he? No, Luke brought his. Oh, that's right. Luke was still sleeping as well. There were 4 people. Besides the point, So it was just like, fuck, man. Okay. So I go. They were 10 minutes out. And at this point, I was like, oh, so their car, like, was coming back to camp. And they had all this stuff. Right? I go and pick them up. They didn't even get coffee. They were on their way to get coffee, and their fucking car broke.
So they're basically stranded with a bunch of coffee in their.
No, they don't have coffee.
They don't have nothing.
They have nothing. They were on their way to get the coffee that they were talking about, and they were 10 minutes out.
Yeah.
They didn't get anything, and it was just like, I thought I was going to take like a few of you to camp to get the coffee and whatnot, and then I was gonna take Dylan. It was like, no, we have nothing. And I'm just laughing. And I'm just laughing the whole way because I'm just like, holy fucking shit. Holy shit. So not only do we have raccoons, not only do we have to pay for another campsite to go to, because Cranford West was canceled, we also have to go and fix fucking Dylan's car so that he can get an oil change.
Okay, this whole trip sounds like it was horrible. I would have just given up.
It was probably the best trip I've ever been on because it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I would fucking do this shit again.
Oh my god.
I would do this shit again.
Yeah.
And I'll explain
Would
why.
you,
I'll
like,
explain
the
why
beat?
all the way at the end. I'll explain why all the way at the end. Don't worry.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but when I tell you this, it comes straight from the heart, and I'm serious. I would fucking do this trip again. I would 100%. If just thinking about it is fucking hilarious. So we take Dylan, we go to like a fucking AutoZone or auto parts center so that he could get shit. We're just laughing in the car. Everyone's like, "Oh, is breakfast done?" And it's like, "Yes, breakfast has been done. We've been waiting for everyone to come back so that we can get breakfast, whatever." And we call him that. We're like, if Luke, if Garrett, if whoever else was there, I can't remember, wakes up, they get first dibs. Just eat. Just save some for us. Matt, eat, please. Don't worry about us. Whatever. And like Dylan gets the shit. We go to a Wawa to get boxed coffee. We totally forgot about hot dogs. We totally forgot about more eggs or whatever. Totally forgot about butter or whatever. I mean, we were checking there, but it was just like we didn't know anywhere else to go. We didn't see like any other place that we thought would give us like all those things. So we went back.
Yeah.
We went back to the campsite. We had the boxed coffee. We had some cream and some sugar that were actually given. We had a half a thing of, or no, we had a half a quart of half and half that was given to us for free. This is boxed coffee and sugar and whatever.
Huh?
And so we were just fucking hype. People bought stuff to like eat. And it was like, well, we have breakfast there, but I get okay, that's cool, you know. And so we drive back, and Dylan's like, okay, stop where my car is. You know, because we left the car on the side of the road. We tried to go up to a house, and Dylan was like, I don't know if I should go up to the house and say that the car is like, Dylan, just fucking go, see if someone's there, tell them the situation. They're probably going to be understandable about it. And if they're not, well, guess what? You can't move your car. Like, you just can't. It's just that simple. You know? But we come back around, and he's like, okay, stop here. And I was like, okay, so you're going to change your oil here? And Dylan's like, no, I'm going to bring it back to camp. Change the oil. And in my mind, I'm just like, that's somewhat of a dumb idea, because I don't think that you're going to be able to drive back to camp. But everyone's just like, nah, fuck it. Whatever. If anything happens, Dylan will call. So we come back to camp. We're eating. Everyone's happy. Everyone has their coffee. And like a fucking black horse out of nowhere, Dylan just strides on up with his fucking car, and everyone's just so fucking happy to see him. And for the next like hour and a half, he's changing his oil. I don't even think he got an oil filter. I think he was just changing it. And I mean, to give Dylan some credit, like what did happen like about a month before was he was in a car accident. So I think what took precedent during that time was the car accident and not really like changing anything with the car, you know? So I give Dylan the benefit of the doubt of like that took precedent, and he was caring more about that than like getting an oil change or whatever, right? But holy shit, that was just like his car could have fucking died going and coming, and it was just like he came back. It was awesome, you know. And then we get a text in the group chat saying that people that basically didn't come are coming today and are actually going to be added to our site, and they're going to pay for just one night. And so, I'm sorry.
No, I was like, okay, so it went to the story of like you guys barely like made fire and stick Unga Chunga to lightning hits the fucking random thing. You find fire, and then like ships from like the mainland come to shore, and you're like, we have finally found America. Yeah.
Well, to a point, we were all prepared, but we just weren't prepared for like everything, right? Because I don't know. I think everyone was just hype, and we just all just wanted to go fucking camping, right? We just all wanted to go fucking camping. Didn't give a shit about anything else. Literally, to me, it was just like, I don't give a shit what's happening beforehand. I just want to set up our tent. And once we set up our tent, I'm just going to drink. And it's just going to be, all my stress is going to wash away. And it did. Until I guess this would be Act 4, the food getting stolen part 2 lecture. It was lunchtime. It was like 12 o'clock. 12 or 1 or whatever. The other boys who came finally came, and Matt was digging through the cooler. And he was just like, where is it? Like, where's the chopped meat? Did they get the chopped meat as well? There was no chopped meat in the fucking cooler that we were going to use for the chili. And it was just like, oh man, maybe they got meat. We got to go out and get it soon. This is not blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I don't really care about the chopped meat. I care about the kielbasa. What kielbasa is, it's just basically like it's a Polish spicy sausage that we were going to make for breakfast the next morning. And everyone was just like, oh, what happened to the kielbasa? It was like, is it in another cooler? Is it in whatever? And it's like, Matt, we only have these 3 coolers. It would have been in a cooler. It wouldn't have been like in a random spot. And I think someone went to piss and they found a container, both the chopped meat and the kielbasa, out. And just everything.
So the bear took everything, or is it like...
The raccoons, man, the raccoons. I don't know how to explain this. Again, it was raccoons. It was the raccoons.
The raccoons?
This is the same day as the car breaking down and the raccoons in the morning taking our shit and us figuring out that it was raccoons.
Why is there so much plot and DLC to this one story?
Because it's just supposed to be about camping, and there's so much shit that happened. That's why I'm saying it's a saga, man. It was a saga.
It was like this. It's like a trilogy at this point. Like,
it basically was.
The Death Star blew up the planet, and then you fought the Darth Vader, and then.
And Matt, and dude, Matt was fucking pissed. He was like, "Oh my god, I'm like $300 fucking down." We had a bag full of like cans and bottles and shit, and he fucking punched it. It was in the air, and it like fucking broke, and it fell on the ground, and it was just like he was fucking pissed. He was done. He was done at that point, and it just like this air of just awkwardness kind of flew by. Because it was kind of like that feeling of like, man, I feel so sorry for Matt. I feel like some people were like, but what are we going to do? And for me, it would have been like, well, okay, let's let Matt cool off. Let's just buy all the shit that we were supposed to buy again. That was just my mindset. I was just sitting. I mean, I would have. I truly would have, but I wanted things to cool down before everything else. This was fine. I didn't know what the plan was. I didn't know anyone. Matt was not in a state of right mind, so I think everyone just kind of let Matt do his thing for a little bit, which was just like he went to sleep. I think emotionally he was done and he went back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just fucking.
He was basically like, I did all this shit.
He did, right? No, but like he did. Because like it wasn't just like him getting food, him orchestrating who was going to take what, but it was even in the group chat for when we were trying to go to Cranford West, where he was just like, do we have plans for who's coming when and this and that, blah, blah, blah. He was truly the one orchestrating like when people were coming, who was coming, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And especially backing up on Dylan's post of like, we are taking only this amount of people tonight and like this before this time, otherwise you're not coming with us. And that was it,
Yeah.
And he just sat down and he was just he just went to sleep, like I said. He was just done. And I think at that moment it was kind of like everyone being like, we should probably try and do something. But then no one did. And it was just like, let's go do something else. Or with the stoners, to be honest. Well, this was a little bit later on, I do have to say. They were like, let's smoke weed. And it wasn't until later on when Matt did come back after getting food, and he was like, it was an over exaggeration. It was probably only down like probably 100 or something. But even then, it wasn't like that bad. He brought the hot dogs. He brought butter back, and this and that, blah blah blah. And our new plan tonight was any of the like after we were done cooking and whatnot, all the coolers are gonna go into a car, my car. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And that was it. That was it of that. And to be honest, night chili was fucking great. They made burgers as well, which we were trying to get a fucking charcoal grill that Dylan had bought to work, and it wasn't. Unfortunately, it was not. So then we just stuck to like we were going to cook stuff on like the fire because it had a grate, and we just took tinfoil and we just put like stuff on top of the tinfoil. Started cooking shit like that, and it was probably the easiest thing we done. And me and my friend Mike, we didn't get into a heated argument, but it definitely was like Matt was trying to get people's attention, and I was a little bit tipsy too, and I was just like, guys, listen to Matt, guys. And it was like Dylan and Mike, and I was just like, okay, you guys can just be assholes. And Mike was like, I'm not gonna have this if you're gonna call me an asshole. And I was just looking at Mike, and I was like, Matt is trying to get your attention to whatever. And it kind of dissolved into drunk 21-year-old rage and whatnot. And I was just kind of done with the whole thing. I was just like sad and moping in a corner while everyone was playing beer pong, or not beer pong. It was a flip cup, which is always fun to play and whatnot, an easy way to get drunk. But then I came back and I started playing flip cup, and I just was like, Mike, I'm sorry, man, this and that, blah blah. And he was like, nah, man, it's fine, I'm sorry too. So we kind of came back together, and that's always the best friendships, when like you can fight with someone but still can come back and say sorry and whatever, and so that you guys can butt heads again and whatnot. And then we just kind of around this table started singing Kumbaya because everyone is here. It was like Smash, like everyone is here. Everyone's around this table that wanted to go camping, and it was such like an amazing high that led into the next day of us just like being like, yeah, we're making breakfast, this and that, blah blah. This is the last day, and it's all fucking done. We're finally getting finished with getting camping with camping and what. And like I said, fucking I like adore this experience. I love this experience. I this is probably like the second best or even the best camping experience I ever had. And I'll tell you why. And you still might question at the end of it, but this is just how I feel about it.
Was it the suffering? Like, was the best part?
The best part was overcoming the suffering. It was this how would you say, like we went through all these hardships to then finally get to where we wanted to, or to finally like have a glimpse of where we want. Because like it definitely wasn't the camping site that we wanted to go to. It definitely wasn't the lake that we wanted to go to in Cranford West. Which, by the way, I failed to mention as well. This lake, and I say it all the time, is the same lake that one of the in Friday the 13th, Jason like pulls that girl down. It's the same lake that was actually filmed at Cranford West. Besides the point, I'm sorry. And it was just like it kind of felt a little bit like a superhero movie, right? Where just against all odds, we came together to basically to reach a goal, to reach a dream. And like that was when I was just like, yeah, man, I would have totally done that again. The whole thing. You know, I think it would have, like, it's just that special to me. Probably the first time I ever went camping down in Cranford West was definitely the most special. Um, but like this is kind of up there as well. It might be top. It's definitely top three. I have to say. Um, I mean, I guess I'll. it was just fun, and it was just, yeah. There was a lot of like bullshit here and there, and just a lot of like hardships, like I said. But it was at the end of that night when we were all singing "Kumbaya" and we were all fucking just drunk and just like arms together, and I'm just looking at everyone, and I'm drinking my scotch or I'm drinking whatever. I'm drinking my Mike's Hard. I was like, this was fun. You know, I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that where it's just like, you push through, you push through, you push through to get to a dream, to get to a goal, to finish whatever, and then you you finally get there, and you look back, and it's just like, I went from here to here, and it's fucking great. You know, I think that's what a lot of people strive for when it comes to goals and whatnot. It just is more satisfying than just like, oh, we went camping. You know, like it wasn't as funny. It was kind of serious, this and that, blah blah blah. But I mean, to be fair, if it was a good camping trip, I probably would have forgotten half of it.
them. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's better to remember the like. I think as a survival instinct, we remember the worst parts of our lives, and the best parts we kind of don't remember.
Well, it's kind of like that learning, you know, like we make mistakes so that we can learn from them. You know what I mean? Which is why like the saying like practice makes perfect is actually not the real saying. It's practice makes permanent. So that you get used to just like what you're practicing and whatnot, so that when it comes time to do whatever that you're practicing or that you're practicing for, like you're there. Because perfect is such a toxic mindset that I think a lot of people have. Not everything is perfect in life. I mean, life is not perfect. We're all treated unfair. And I don't think there will ever be like a utopia at the end of it. You know, I mean, you could even see it with like dystopian societies, like The Giver. There's a book out there. There's also a movie, but I think the book is way called The Giver. Um, where it's shown as a utopia where no one feels at all, besides this child who basically works with this older man who is the giver, who gives him feeling, who gives him feelings of hate, of
Yeah,
love, of lust, um of friendship, of brotherhood, and this and that, blah blah blah. And it's such an amazing book. I mean, it's an older book, and it's definitely for children. It's still such an give it a read whenever you do. But I mean, you see it in life, and I don't think like there will never. Like perfect is not satisfying. I think like I think imperfections is what makes things beautiful. You know, it allows people it allows different people from different places to see the same thing differently, which is always beautiful. Being able to just to come together, but also to have a different like a different takeaway from like this one thing, this one place. And as well as like with imperfections, it just shows how much we grow. Because we all grow, we all learn. Like the learning doesn't stop after school. Like I'm sorry, it doesn't. um. But it man, I don't know. I mean, next time we'll definitely learn about like putting shit in cars and whatnot, and not just
yeah.
leaving coolers out. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just life. we fuck shit up, and fuck shit up, and then we learn from it, and then we make times even better. So.
Yeah. Honestly, like I kind of liked hearing all of this. Well, I mean, I said some things. I'm not saying that like, I could have probably said more. I was like, well, what if? And then it just interrupts the whole story for like 20 years. But honestly, I
That's
liked
all
hearing
fine,
most of it.
man. That's all
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Put in your 2 cents, man. But
Well, okay. After the trip, like, how did you guys feel?
I, 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 I personally felt like I would want to do. And when I said that to my friend Garrett, he was like, "You would do this again?" And I was like, "Yeah, 100%, I would." Because
Mm-hmm.
I love camping.
Yeah,
Some people may not like camping as much as me or as much as
yeah,
I personally love camping. It goes back to what I said before, though. Like it's just like we had these trials and tribulations, but you know what? We got to the goal, and we were still fucking. You know, we it was just awesome at the end of it. And because for him, he was like, "Well, what about the first time we went to Cranford West?" I was like, "No, that was good. Like, I still have like funny stories from that first time, but I mean, I will remember this a little bit more." Like I told you like basically almost step by step like how the days went. You know, like the last day it was just like we were all just chilling and whatever. It didn't really matter. You know, I mean, I bet some people probably would have wanted a better experience, definitely. But um, I mean, out that last day, it was just like it. I mean, a lot of us kind of are doing our own thing in our own lives. You know, I'm more present on like I'm more of a presence on different Discord servers, and I'm starting to get back to like talking with them and this and that, blah blah blah. But I mean, with my work schedule and shit like that, like I always get to I'm not always there, so that's I like I said I would have wished you come because I do feel like you would enjoy it. I think if you were there, you would
yeah.
understand. It's kind of one of those. It's like an indie concert, right? You got to be there to really to really feel it.
I know. Yeah, no. I've been learning like a lot about indie music. What Tang? Like, what indie songs were you showing me? Oh, you don't remember? You're showing me them like when I was high. Like, you just wait. Let me see. Let me see my playlist.
Mhm.
It was. Oh, I was watch. It was the Chibo Mato, Stereotype A, the full album, and then what was it? We're. I was listening to. Oh, I was listening to Coconut Ranger, Leopard, Dead Weight from like Jack Stuber. I was listening to Blonde Redhead, Melody of a Certain, Blonde Redhead, A Cure. We were listening to Daft Punk a lot. What other?
Yeah, man. I think
What
I
was
have
not
all their
indie?
albums.
What was it? What else were we listening to? Heaven or Las Vegas, Millenary, Underground, The Changing Window chord sample, Black Cat Corporal, Broadcast American Boy, Serpent Boy, Darky. These are from Head Planet Earth Ground. I say Placebo, 36 Degrees. Oh yeah, we didn't finish listening to Bork or York or
No, I don't finish.
you didn't finish that. Well, Alex is on fire. Watch out the full album. Alex is on full 20. Oh yeah, I fucking like that album. That was a good album. Yeah.
Alex has on full 20.
Oh, Bunny the Bear, the Frog. Actually, you'd fucking love this song. Actually, let me send it to you for a brief second of listening. I know this won't be on the podcast because obviously whatever, but like your reaction to this song would probably make my day. Let me send it to you.
Send it to me.
Yeah.
Ooh, the bunny, the bear. Ooh, I like that art too. This is why, like, I would love for Tammy to create our own. Oh man, excuse me. This is why I would love Tammy to create our own like backdrop for our little thing for the podcast, because I would love to just like put a few pictures in for like diagram. Podcast that I love called Adeptus Ridiculous that has explained a lot of like 40k lore that I know of, does it a little bit too, where it's like all three of them, their editor and like the two commentators, just like reacting to a screen that has like a bunch of like other shit on it. So I would love for that like black screen so that we could, or blank screen with us looking at it so that we could uh like talk about it and almost like we're reacting to what's on the screen. um yeah, I'll give this a listen. But you were saying there was a point about, or was it just you wanted to talk about indie, because I was talking about like an indie band and you just had to be there to experience it. Don't go quiet on me. I know I'm not schizophrenic. I know I have friends. I know my homies are real.
Not. No. No. Tang was telling me about the album and stuff, but I didn't want to interrupt it while you were talking to me. But what was that? I forgot. We were talking about the fucking album. I don't know why. We went on a little rant too while I was listening to you talk about it, but I know I want the art to represent that song. Like, are you listening to it or no?
Me right now, no, I'm still recording. The episode's still going on, my friend.
I know, no. Just listen through it. Like, just talk while you listen to the song. Just trust me.
I wish I could do that without it going into the recording.
Oh, it does? It goes into the recording as well?
Yes, because it's in the background and OBS will, because I have to record your audio,
Yeah.
the background audio.
Oh, you can't like differentiate, because I know you can center it to the Discord, and then it won't record everything else.
Can I?
Yeah,
That is shit that I'll have to figure out later on. But,
it tells you in settings, like you can center the recording to the other thing, so like when you watch a video, for example, it won't grab the audio or anything.
mm-hmm.
So
I'll have to play with that later on. Because right now it's just desktop audio, which is gonna be like if I open up anything else as sound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I guess we're coming down on the last few minutes of the episode since we're like an hour and 15 in, but I mean, do you have any questions about whatever, or do you have any like comments and whatnot?
Yeah, did you smoke weed with a bear?
No.
Damn,
that would have been cool. That would have been cool.
No.
Or fucking, getting a fucking Coca-Cola from like a polar bear. Like this, like the commercial.
Yeah, honestly, but like no, honestly, I'm kind of happy that we did the episode today, because that was a really good story. I mean, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, is that all you'll say?
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Here's my villain story. Okay.
My villain arc.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if there's nothing else to say, I'm guessing, yeah, this episode is well and done. Jairo.
Yeah.
You can find him everywhere on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok,
on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can just walk to my house.
Just walk to Jairo's house, everyone. You'll find him there.
Yeah, you'll find me there. You have all my socials, right? I gave you everything.
I always put them at the end of this, or at the end of the description. In the description. Yes.
Yo, don't make me arm wrestle you. Yeah, no, but honestly, it was good. It was good talking to you and everything, and I wish you the best.
You're saying it.
Everybody.
Oh.
We're
Good
gonna
night.
die. This is the last time.
No.